Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, what makes the world's most expensive car so expensive?
Also, TSA self-service checkpoints are going to make it a lot faster while also being a lot more dangerous. And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Getting close to the weekend. Isaiah, are you much of a ranchy boy?
Not much.
Not too much of a ranch head.
I don't use ranch very much in my life.
So it doesn't excite you that Hidden Valley Ranch has just announced, with National Ranch Day right around the corner, March 10th, Sunday, that they have seven new flavors of ranch that are going to be rolling out to stores nationwide in the coming weeks and months throughout the spring. One of them is particularly noteworthy, so I'll start with the headline grabber, and that is Cheez-It Ranch. Cheez-It Cheesy Ranch.
Little crossover.
Yeah, a little collab between Hidden Valley Ranch and Cheez-Its. It says on the bottle here, great for dipping. I've got all these new ranch flavors. I want to ask you what you think they would be good for. What would cheesy Cheez-It Ranch be good for?
Anything.
Well, the possibilities are endless.
I mean, ranch and cheese.
Uh-huh.
You can already put ranch on pretty much almost anything.
Yeah, it is pretty flexible.
And then you can also put cheese on almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, with this condiment, anything.
I'm just trying to think of one specific thing.
I mean, pizza.
I don't know if I would like that.
Little nacho cheese on the side.
A little nacho action. Just drizzle this all over the top. Maybe.
I'm not much of a drizzle guy, more of a dipper.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at some of the other flavors. This one not as exciting, but I mean, all likely better tasting. Garlic ranch.
That's a good one.
They literally just say the ultimate pizza dipping champion. I think so. I think that could be a possibility.
I would say any of these ranch flavors probably could be dipped with pizza.
Pizza, yeah. I guess that's a top choice. Nashville Hot. Would you dip your pizza in Nashville Hot Ranch?
I'm sure people would.
Obviously, they say this too. Good on sandwiches. I don't see why that couldn't go with wings, obviously. They also have creamy jalapeno ranch. Surprising that's not already something that they have sold.
Sounds like something I'd like on a fried pickle.
They say drizzle or dip on nachos and tacos. Then you have spicy hot honey ranch. They describe it as a sweet and spicy sidekick for pizza and fried chicken. All right, you can't just say pizza and fried chicken for everything. And then Green Goddess, that's creamy herb-loaded goodness for salads or grain bowl action. And finally, Parmesan Ranch. Tangy twist for a classic Caesar salad are possible here. We got 7 new flavors of Hidden Valley Ranch, and you should start seeing these by the end of the month in most Walmarts, and then coming to Kroger's next month. Pretty exciting time for ranch enthusiasts. Ranch aficionados.
I like a lot of different flavors of ranch.
Yeah.
I like a Southwest ranch. That's one of my favorites, so I'm sure lots of these will be very good.
You know what I do with ranch is I buy a new flavor of it, and so I'd get one of these, and then I'd use it for one thing, and then I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't need to use it again for a while, and so it just sits in the fridge until it gets too old. I don't know how old is too old, but it just gets too old. That's my ranch routine.
So you won't be getting any of these?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably will. I just won't use the whole bottle. It is the riot.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Some space news for you, but this one, Isaiah, has nothing to do with NASA, nothing to do with the moon or Mars. This has actually everything
Must be
to do.
the sun, huh?
No, not the sun.
Not even the sun.
Not even the sun is involved in this story. It's all about good old planet Earth. You know, we're in space right now, and you think about it. And so is the asteroid Apophis. You ever heard that name before?
I have not.
Apophis, it's made headlines a few times because it is noteworthy for, in its orbit, its trajectory, routinely passing, as far as space is concerned, very close to Earth. It gets pretty nearby as far as in space terms, pretty close. And there was a concern that in the future, because it gets so close to Earth, it could hit us one day. The next time it's supposed to pass by, April 13th of 2029. The thought is that if it stays on its normal path that it's already on, it wouldn't hit us. But, there's a lot of things in space. So what if it hits? What if it deflects? What if another asteroid deflects it and then, boom, it's headed straight for Earth? And then what do we do? Well, put your mind at ease, because Canadian astronomers ran a detailed simulation featuring 1.3 million known asteroids out there. And it says that even if it gets deflected, it's not hitting Earth.
But how can we be so sure?
They ran a simulation.
Oh, okay. If they say so, cool. I'm cool with that. I feel like even if it was headed for Earth, couldn't we just shoot something at it?
That's what, I don't know. That's what the movies say, right?
Like if another asteroid is able to bump it, and all of a sudden it's headed for us, can't we just bump it back? It's in space. Can we just push it?
I think that's the thought process. I think they've tested that out. But think about this, Isaiah. You know this. It's not that easy to send stuff to space. Look how long it's taken us to get to the moon, and we know where that is. That's not moving as fast as an asteroid. It's not as unpredictable, and we have an undefined time frame to do that. If this winds up getting deflected, then it's a race against the clock.
See, but also, where's it hidden?
Earth somewhere.
Yeah,
but it's when an asteroid hits Earth, think about the dinosaurs. What happens?
See, but
it doesn't turn out well.
Big? Is it that big? Is it going to destroy all of Earth, or is it going to destroy Italy?
How much of Earth are you okay with destroying?
I'm just saying, is it hitting the U.S. or not? We have a 20% chance.
So you're saying if it's just going to hit another country anyways,
or water, we're a lot of water.
There's a 70% chance, I guess, it would hit water.
If it's going to hit water, is everybody just cool with killing the fishes? I guess we're all cool with it.
Would it even do anything? But what if you got to think about it. If it hits water, come on, tsunamis. You got to watch out for that. We don't want that.
Well, where are we hitting? It's all about where we hit.
So you're saying it could be just not our problem as a country?
Well, people can ask for our help, yeah. Because if realistically, Hud, if it was going to hit the U.S. of A., who's helping us? Nobody.
Yeah, that is true.
Ain't nobody helping us. Yeah. But as soon as it's
Japan
coming towards them,
you're on your own.
Sorry, that's unfortunate for y'all. Hopefully you figure it out.
Yeah, I wish you guys had a space program like we did 60 years ago.
But if it's going towards them,
they're
like, maybe we could use some help. And we were like, you know what? Let's go into more debt. I like your thinking.
Yeah. All right. Well, fortunately, supposedly we don't have to worry about it because it's not going to hit Earth, according to the Canadians.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
This is interesting. Home cleaning service Home Aglow. They just took a survey where they analyzed how much time everybody spends doing housework across the country, and then how much, if we were to get paid what we should get paid for the housework we do, how much we would be making. Like, what is our housework worth? How much housework do you think you do in a day?
Maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Feels like it.
That's high.
But I don't have a dishwasher, so
that's high.
I spend a lot of times every day washing dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
I'll tell you,
dishes.
45 minutes a day, you're almost an average woman, Isaiah.
You would say, really?
Yes, very close. And that's not a joke.
That makes sense. You want to know why? Because I don't have any woman in my house
I guess not.
to help me.
Yeah. Somebody's got to be the lady around there. But no, seriously, they found that men do an average of 19 minutes of housework per day, while women do an average of 49 minutes of housework per day.
And they say you're not helping out. Sounds like you're not helping out.
You know what's even worse is, we can get to the money numbers in a second, but what's even worse is that men's amount of housework done per day has increased by 35% in the last 20 years.
Increased?
Yeah.
So they did nothing before.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Uh-huh. Around when we were born, I guess we weren't quite, but yeah, like in our lifetimes, men have gone from doing essentially nothing at home.
My
to
grandfather was doing nothing.
Doing a little bit of something at home.
He was doing nothing.
Yeah. But you talk about money, they use like kind of average wages of like the stuff you're doing if you hired somebody to do it. For men doing 19 minutes of housework per day, that equates to about $39,000 worth of chores per year.
What?
Wait, no. 3,900.
There you go.
Yeah, 3,900.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I'm going to start cleaning up for 45 minutes a day.
$3,900 worth of chores per year for men, where women obviously doing like more than twice as much, almost 3 times as much. They are doing about $10,000 worth of household chores per year.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of chores.
But you think about that, though. You think about this. The women are making less at working a real job, and then they're also doing more housework. How does that make any sense?
It's not fair.
It's not fair. Not at all. We need to change this. We need to start doing more housework.
Hey.
Yeah, you're already there.
I'm already doing it.
You're already there.
There's no lady in my house, so therefore I'm doing everything. Or is my house a mess? We don't know.
You're actually the reason that men's housework numbers have gone up since 2003. You're single-handedly responsible for the 35% increase.
Yeah, you think about, this is what's crazy too, is there's lots of guys who live by themselves, so they're doing a lot more housework. Whereas there's guys like you that are just bringing us down. We're averaging you out.
Or are the guys that live by themselves still not doing housework and living like slobs?
Not me.
I know some people like that.
I'm sure you do. Not in this house.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
But I had to get those. It's a Walmart exclusive. I had to go grab those at Walmart yesterday, and I ran into something at Walmart that I do not like. Isaiah, how do you respond when you're walking through Walmart and they have one of those like salesman guys that's like, let me talk to you about your electric company? What is your response?
I'm undefeated against them.
What do you mean?
They will never defeat me, and if you want to beat them every single time, I have the sure 100% proof way to defeat them every time. I've never been harassed by one. All you have to say is one statement. Ready?
Yeah.
I live with my parents and they pay for everything.
Yeah.
And then you say, and then they're going to say back, well, you can't be free. And I go, you can't be free, brother.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, you have a good one.
That's
works
amazing.
every single time. Whether you live with your parents or not, you pay for your TV or not, whatever they're trying to sell you, internet, insurance, whatever it is, just say my parents pay for it. And say you can't be free. I would love to buy whatever you have.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to give me a deal that's free.
That's a great quote. How many times do you think you've used that?
I've used it every single time. I've never not used it. You can't be free. I'm sorry.
I'm glad that I heard you say that, because I got accosted by one yesterday. And
you crumbled. How much insurance did you buy?
No. This time I just completely ignored the guy.
You didn't say anything back?
I didn't even acknowledge him.
That's worse.
But I don't like to, they're doing their job, but their job sucks. It's a stupid job. And so
they hate their job too, don't worry.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm doing everybody a favor by just not having us go through this charade. I'm never going to buy whatever it is they're doing. So I just feel like just me ignoring them is actually the least.
So you didn't say anything?
I didn't say a darn thing.
Did he say like, hey, brother?
He didn't chase me down, no. I didn't know,
he
clearly addressed me. He says, hey, do you have this electric provider? And I just walked on by.
You're crazy for that.
I made a beeline for the potato chips. And
gosh, you're ruthless for that.
I felt pretty good about it.
How do you think that guy felt about that? He's like, I'm never going to make a sale.
I figured, well, first of all, he started with a yes or no question. And so my initial thought was, this all flowed through my mind in the short amount of time. But I was like, I just want to say, what is the right answer to get him to be like, oh, okay, never mind then.
Well, I just told you one of them. Yeah. Or you could do, I'm good on that, brother.
I'm good. Yeah.
Man, what he says.
But why can't I just ignore him then?
Well, it's nice to be able to say something back and recognize them as a human.
Yeah.
And then keep moving. I'm good. Thank you, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that before, but I just thought the walk on.
You thought the ignore probably made his day
more
better.
Effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my job to make his day better.
Well, you're ruining his day is what you're doing.
Well, maybe
kick him while he's down, why don't you?
Yeah. And then you know what else I did though? Because this is the real thing. You know how Walmart at the self-checkouts, they ask you to rate your experience. You want to know what I gave my experience?
What'd you give it?
4 stars.
4 stars?
You know, I gave it a 1. I
gave
it a
1?
Yeah.
For what?
Because Walmart is the only store that has those guys.
No, they're in other stores. They're in Sam's Club.
I don't go to Sam's Club, which is owned owned by the same company as Walmart. Target would never do that to you.
They have them at the gym all the time.
I gave it a 1 star because here's what I'm thinking. Walmart is selling that spot. They don't have to do that. Oh, they're not making enough money otherwise. They're selling that company, whatever company it is, the spot in there. Because if that guy didn't pay, or not him personally, but if the company that he works for didn't pay to have that spot in there that Walmart offered to them, then he would be thrown out of the store for bothering people. So why are they selling that and making my experience worse?
Well, that's the same reason they're selling lots of things. So they can make money, brother.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't sell those spots if people didn't buy from them.
I know they do. That's why I'm going to be a Target man. They don't bother me that way.
You're boycotting Walmart.
Yeah, well,
let's get that down as a show boycott. Hudson boycotts Walmart.
Yeah. Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity pancake potato chips. Supposed to taste like Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity pancakes plus a side of bacon as well, for maybe that salty touch, as well as obviously the sweetness of the strawberries. We're gonna see how this goes here. These are a Walmart exclusive. You can only get them there. They had plenty, and actually surprisingly affordable for a bag of chips. $3 is what I paid for that.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, most of the time they're like $7 nowadays.
They smell wild. When you smell into this bag, it smells like strawberry pancakes. It's insane.
They've definitely captured the strawberry smell with it. I was thinking, and they also have like a pinkish hue as well, so you can tell that it's just not your ordinary standard. If you saw these in a bowl sitting out, I don't think you'd be fooled into thinking they were regular potato chips, because you could smell it and you can see they don't look quite right.
I don't know what to expect from these. I have no idea what this is going to taste like.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, but also terrifying.
I think there's a possibility these actually could be really good.
You think these are going to be good? I have lower expectations.
I don't know that I expect them to be good, but I think it's a possibility. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right, you go first. I would say they smell like strawberry ice cream. Oh, is that a good whoa or a bad whoa?
That's a lot whoa. It's a lot to handle.
A flavorful whoa?
I don't know what that was that I just put in my mouth, but it's definitely breakfast. It tastes like...
Well, that's weird.
Bacon. It tastes like waffle.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberry.
That's very...
shockingly low amount of strawberry.
That's right. It has much more strawberry smell than taste. It has a weird tang to it. You know,
that's the strawberry.
The weird tang.
That's the strawberry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is. It is the strawberry. It hits you more at the end, but it's almost, ma'am. I don't know.
Describe that.
I don't know. There's definitely a salty aspect to it.
You gotta try these.
It's kind of like, it's like if they made the astronaut ice cream.
Yeah.
It's like if they made that with potato chips. And for some reason it was the bacon, I don't know if I'm getting a lot of bacon.
I get a little bit of bacon. But I've gotten some of the bacon.
But what's weird is I do feel like I'm getting pancake flavor.
No, you are.
Which is a weird flavor to capture. I don't know how they did that.
It tastes like breakfast. That's the best way I can describe it.
All breakfast all up rolled into one.
A very unique experience here with this. I've never had a potato chip do this before.
Yeah, just
shock me.
Confound me. Do you think we've got that whole potato chip bag? Do you think you're going to be eating some of these from time to time in the break room?
The crazy thing is, I don't even know if I like it.
I know it's hard to say.
I don't know if I like it or if I hate it.
I mean, just the sheer fact that that we've eaten multiple of them is probably a good sign.
The flavor isn't bad.
Yeah.
Is it good? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it's just chips though. Like I've got 4 more here and I'm going to eat them all.
Eat them all.
I'm going to eat them all. But then will I be tempted again?
To open up the bag.
Know. I just don't know.
But for $3,
yeah,
you got to try it.
It's a gamble worth taking. Yeah.
You're driving to work in the morning. Grab this. Eat it. It tastes like breakfast. I mean, that felt one of the few chips we've tried early in the morning that felt normal.
That's right. Normally it's so early it doesn't feel appropriate to be eating chips. These are clearly breakfast. It tastes like a pancake. It tastes like a fruity pancake. Does it taste like a good fruity pancake? That is debatable. That's debatable. But the question we like to ask here is necessary? Definitely not necessary.
Not necessary.
But intriguing.
I would say that if you have $3 and you're at a gas station.
Well, they're only at Walmart.
Wow.
So you got
well, Hudson's currently boycotting Walmart, so you're not going
into
in
Walmart,
there.
walk right past that guy that's going to try to sell you insurance or a cheaper electric bill or whatever. Ignore him. Walk to the IHOP chips. Try them.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
We're trying something out that we've never tried before with the TSA. That is self-service TSA checkpoints. They've got one in Las Vegas. The first one ever. They're going to see how it works.
That seems like the opposite
Of
what they usually do.
Of security?
Yeah, usually don't do it solo.
Yeah. That's, and so the way it works is, I've watched a video about it here, is that you think about it, just about everything you do at the TSA checkpoint, you can do yourself. You know how to put all your stuff in the bin, and you slide it through, then you walk into the x-ray thing, and then you walk out. Screens can tell you to do all of that, right?
Yes.
And so that's the thought process, is that instead of having like multiple TSA people standing there telling you what to do, when you kind of, if you've ever flown before, kind of basically know what to do, they have like one person that kind of mans all of them from a screen. And then you just do it all yourself. And then if something gets flagged as they look at your x-rayed bag remotely and look at your x-rayed body remotely from wherever they're sitting, whatever their office is, then they have to come get your stuff or whatever. It like goes down a different pathway.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm torn because it is true that you don't actually, if everybody's just following the rules and whatever, you don't actually need a person there. But also, is everybody going to just follow the rules and be able to figure this out?
Probably not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think, there's a lot of people that are going to be capable of this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just some people that are really technologically challenged.
Yeah.
That this might be a struggle for them. Will the other way still be available? Or are they going all self-checkout?
Yeah. They compare it to self-checkouts at Walmart and Kroger and whatever, and we know how those are going. So I guess so there'll be like one TSA person manning one checkpoint that's actually a manned one, and then there'll be 8 unmanned ones with one person monitoring them and always running around between them. And all of them will be very slow.
Well, if it makes it quicker and it's safe, then I'm totally for it.
Does it sound quicker or safe, though?
It sounds quicker.
It sounds quicker. I just feel like we're going to be, I don't know. How do you even tell? Because every time at the TSA, it feels like there's a long line. Even if it's not a busy airport with a lot of people, it just feels like you're waiting there for a while, in my experience.
Oh, every time.
How much slower could it get?
Exactly. And if there's eight of those things for you to walk through and you can do it yourself,
yeah,
then it has to be quicker.
And you think about people, the TSA people, it's one thing when you think they're seeing you naked when they're standing right there. But if you can't see them seeing you naked, then did they even see you naked at all?
See, I've never even thought about them seeing me naked.
With an x-ray thing, what do you think it's looking at?
That's not seeing you naked.
I think it is.
No, it's not. What are you, crazy? That is not seeing you
What do you
naked.
think it's looking at then?
It's looking at the...
Taking a picture of your outfit?
It's just looking at... It's a black thing, and you can't see underneath my clothes with that.
They can.
No, they cannot.
Do.
I'm 100% certain they can't.
They're X-raying you naked.
You're telling me they can see my nipples through that X-ray machine. There's a 0%
No,
chance.
I don't know how detailed it is.
There's a 0%
detailed
chance.
enough to see a bomb.
It's
I feel
all-
like you can see.
It cannot. It's just shapes, I think.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, check out this this link I just sent you. It is the world's most expensive car. It was just unveiled by Rolls-Royce, clocking in at about $31 million. Million dollars.
What makes it so great?
Well, it has high-density Santos straight-grain wood sections that took
Means nothing to me.
That took 8,000 hours to create.
Wood? You're
Yeah.
selling me $31 million worth of wood.
Yeah, in a car form. It says it took 11 months for them to craft all of those wood sections. 233 wood pieces were installed throughout the car, and 76 pieces are on the rear deck alone. It also says
I didn't know that adding wood to a vehicle makes it that much more expensive.
when it's fancy wood, it really does.
The finest oak you can find.
Yeah. It says the veneer pieces, the wood, was also, this is a quote, subject to a punishing cycle inside a specialist machine simulating global weather extremes.
So what, this wood will never fade?
It should, it should be tried and true. No matter what you do with this car, the wood will still be there, standing strong.
I mean, this looks like a nice car.
Mhm.
It doesn't look like the most expensive car ever. And you got to think whoever buys this car, I mean, they're the worst.
They, I mean, it's some rich oil tycoon from the Middle East, I'm
And he
sure.
needs the most expensive car ever.
Yeah. Well, they didn't just make this and then they're like, all right, it's for sale. Somebody commissioned this. This is like what they asked for.
I was going to ask, if I wanted the most expensive car ever, I feel like I would get to design it. Like, what happens if I don't like the color?
Yeah, I think
It's in white. It's in white. What if I wanted it in red? Is that $32 million?
I don't know if the red would go as well with the wood.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't match.
But I'm saying if I'm paying $31 million,
Yeah.
I want to be able to do whatever I want with it.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I think whoever came up with this, whoever paid for this was like, I want all that wood. I like wood a lot. Put as much wood as you can, please.
And they were like, that'll be $31 million. We got this guy.
the individual's like, there's just something I find beautiful about trees.
He could have asked for anything. He could have asked for absolutely anything. I want the most expensive car ever.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want on it? I want a bunch of wood.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want like touch screens and a TV in there? No.
There's nothing more powerful than some birch.
I want it to be the most
wood.
expensive car, and I just want a
Yes.
bunch of wood.
Nothing that displays a sense of of arrogance. Like what? I'll tell you, my problem with this car is, and you're definitely right, that if you or I were to get into this car versus like a standard Rolls Royce that any of us could buy, I mean, we can't afford it, but like whatever they sell, they just generally sell. I don't know that we would be able to sense which one is the $31 million car and which is the like just really actually expensive car.
Like when I Google, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When I Google Rolls Royce,
Mm-hmm.
just look at the images. It looks identical to some of these cars, just with wood.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same. You should just get a regular Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
They're not anywhere near
Much more-
$31 million.
Much more bang for your buck.
Like this all white Rolls Royce looks identical to this car.
But there's one other thing that I wanted to point out. I want to see if you agree. There's a video of it as well. If you go to like just past the 1 minute mark in the video, it shows the headrests and it has like a two-tone headrest, like ombre kind of. But it just looks like somebody spilled something on the top of the headrest. Like it looks dumb. Does it look the same way to you? It looks like somebody had a really sweaty head.
It does.
Like why? You just paid $31 million for a car. Looks like somebody already used up your headrest. Like it was
does look sweaty.
Salvaged from a garbage dump.
Now, this is a waste of money.
Yeah.
How much is a regular Rolls Royce?
I don't know.
I'm not in that tax bracket. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm not even close.
But I know it ain't 31 million.
Yeah, well, even if, let's say a regular Rolls Royce.
The price of a 2024 Rolls Royce Ghost starts at $354,000.
I was going to say, it couldn't even be $1 million, could it?
No.
So is this $30 million, $30.5 million better than a regular Rolls Royce?
No.
It can't be, but it's got a lot of wood.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
What do you own too much of?
It's a good question.
It's time to take stock. So look around, imagine sitting around your house, looking around. What do you just have too much of? More than you need.
First thing that comes to my mind, emails.
Does that count?
Counts to me. I have more emails than probably anything else.
What's your unread email inbox at right now?
For my mail.
My work one, I'm proud of this. My work one is pretty much always zero. I mean, like right now, it's zero.
9,741. Does that feel like a lot? I don't know.
It's more than me. Mine is at 7,675.
You should be ashamed.
My personal email inbox. Yeah.
Thinking about emails, pet hair, my clothes.
Yeah.
Too much of that. I own way too much of that. Gym hair all over me.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of things.
You don't have anything, though? I was thinking like something, I guess maybe a better question would be something you bought too much of.
No, I don't have.
Over time.
I don't buy a lot of things, I feel like.
Yeah, you're not much of a hoarder.
I have a small house, so I can't afford to be having too much stuff in there. It'd be so full so quick. And the other thing, too, is Jim is so bad that if anything's on the floor, like if I have clutter in my home, he's going through it. Like he's carrying it around. He's grabbing it.
It's impossible for you to own too much of anything because Jim will destroy it.
Precisely.
That makes it easy, I guess. It's solves one problem.
But I have a lot of other things. I have a lot of hate for people that don't use their turn signals. I have a lot of hate for people that don't turn right on red.
You own that?
I own a lot of that.
Yeah. I guess you're owning it right now.
I am.
8772 Radio U. I like your outside the box answers. I'd like to hear more of those, boss. I want to know what everybody else has too much of. What do you just own too much of? 8772 Radio U. We'll see what people are saying next.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Dave texted in. Dave has 28,366 unread emails.
That's aggressive.
How does the email, whatever thing you use, how do they still let you on there?
They should be charging you.
Yeah. Are you
money to
maybe
hold
he is
all
paying,
those?
Yeah, for extra storage. Phyllis says books and clothes. I bet you there's a lot of people out there thinking books.
See, obviously I don't really own many books. I would love to be one of those people that own a lot of books. Doesn't that feel like a good thing to own a lot of? Just books?
It depends. Have you read them?
I've read most of them.
If you've read them, then at least when somebody comes over, they can be like, it's a conversation starter. Because otherwise, if you haven't read them, and then they're like, "Oh, how was that?" And then you're like, "Oh, that's just for show. I haven't
read a single one."
Yeah. Or you have to make something up.
I haven't gotten to it.
Yeah. Clothes is a good answer too, though. Let's see. Chad says, "Good morning, Hudson and Isaiah. I have too many hockey jerseys, hats, and sneakers. Retail therapy kind of backfired." He sounds like me. I don't have too many sneakers, but clearly I have a lot of hats and I have a lot of hockey jerseys. I wouldn't say I have too much, but this makes me wonder. Chad, Isaiah, do you remember this? He sent us jerseys.
He did.
Years ago. He sent you a Browns jersey, sent me a hockey jersey. Was he actually like giving us gifts, or was he just cleaning out his closet?
Oh, no.
Chad. It also reminds me that I've been trying to talk something I've never owned. This is getting off subject a little bit. I've never owned a baseball jersey, like of the Red Sox.
I have a baseball jersey.
And I have been trying to talk myself into buying one, and I just have to choose one and have the money for it.
You should get a Cleveland Guardians one.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay.
Max simply says, too many T-shirts for me. And Regina says, I own a ton of the Christmas Village houses, but you can never have too many of those.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, clearly. I don't even know what you're talking about, but sure. What do I?
Oh, you know the Christmas Village houses.
Do I?
Yeah.
Are those like those little wooden cutouts you put on your mantle?
They can be.
Is that is?
My grandmother has a really nice one at the Christmas Village.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what do I have too much? I think hats is probably like my first answer. And then to take the shirts thing, I don't think I have too many shirts generally, but I do have too many shirts that are like house shirts. When in actuality, I need like 3 of those because I don't need to have a rotation of those. I just need enough so I always have one clean.
My thoughts on clothes is it's okay to have as much clothes as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is if you have too much clothes that you do not wear.
Yes.
If you have a bunch of clothes you don't wear, that's bad.
I strive to use all the clothes that I own, but there are some clothes, like the fancier clothes I have, that are only for special occasions, so then it feels like I never use them because I never have special occasions.
But you're holding out.
Yeah, I'm like, just in case one day, if I ever get invited to another wedding, I'll wear this.
Samantha says jobs. She had too many. She has 4 jobs.
4. That is too much.
That's way too many jobs.
What is this country coming to that you have to have 4 jobs?
Tim says.
I feel like 1 is too much sometimes.
Tim says, toys my girlfriend's daughter has left in my car. Tim's always coming with a shot. Is he not? He's been holding on to that for a while.
I hope his girlfriend doesn't ever listen to the show. I wouldn't say that about a lot of people. I hope Tim's girlfriend not tuning in. 8772 Radio U. What is something you own too much of?
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Aha, it's our Thursday tradition, Choice Champions. What happens is, Isaiah and I, we have a topic. We have to draft things, snake draft style, 3 picks each from that topic, and then you tell us who's got the better team and which picks did we miss. This week, spring has officially sprung, as far as I'm concerned. I know the first day of spring is like 12 days away, but, I mean, come on. It's spring. And so we're drafting the best things about spring. I have the first pick. Isaiah, first pick. I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm taking Easter week.
Oh, you're taking Easter.
I'm taking Easter.
You're taking the holiday off rip.
I'm taking Easter. And by taking the whole week, I feel like I get spring break included.
That's not how that works. You don't get Easter and spring break in one
Well,
pick.
I'm taking the whole week of Easter, which often coincides with spring break.
You're taking Easter and spring break in one pick.
If you want to take spring break, you can do that.
No, it's okay. If you want to take 2 things in your first pick, that's fine. We can all acknowledge there's cheating.
Easter because, well, you think about it. After you get out of college, you don't really get spring break, but Easter is a time when a lot of people take vacation off. Obviously, Easter, one of the most important holidays, and a good holiday too, like a good celebration. You get usually, for me anyways, you get a pretty nice dinner, pretty nice meal on Easter usually, family getting together. And chocolate. Cadbury,
hey, you ain't got to sell me on Easter.
Cadbury cream egg. So yeah, Easter.
Easter's great.
Yeah,
I love Easter. I'm gonna go with longer days.
I had that one.
You wanted longer days.
I had that one dog-eared.
I love so much when the sun is out later at night.
Yep.
But I don't love it as much as I hate it when it's dark at 5 o'clock.
That's right.
When I get done doing anything and it's 5 p.m. and I walk outside and it's dark out,
it kills
my
me.
day's over.
Yeah.
Like 7:30 rolls around and I'm like, should I go to bed? Like, what do I do now? I hate when it gets dark outside early. The next thing I will do, which has been a big topic of my family as of late, planning summer fun. Me and my mom especially, we've been planning a lot of trips for the summer. And you have to plan those in the spring. You can't plan those in the summer. And so it gives me things to look forward to. All the trips we have going on this summer. I have a lot of weddings this summer I'm getting invitations to.
Yeah.
So I'm planning those trips, vacations. I'm going planning summer fun in the spring.
I love that your pick, best things about spring, is looking forward to a different season.
You like that?
Yeah. Oh, man. I have 2 picks here. One of them, I'm definitely going sports. So I just have to pick which sport. And I'm going to go ahead and then choose what's better about spring. I'm going to go March Madness over baseball.
Okay.
Sorry, baseball. March Madness, the first couple days, it is one of the top But that's if we did a best things in the sports calendar, March Madness is one of them.
It's a good one.
So that's my next pick. And then lastly, I will go open windows. I like the weather changes. You can finally have the windows open, fresh air in the house, and more importantly, fresh air while you're driving. I'm a big windows down while driving. I like to have the fresh air, and I like other people to have to hear what I'm hearing in my car. RadioU, of course.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The one that I will wrap it up with, this is tough, but I'm going to lead the clothing. I'm a big fan of the clothing in the spring, similar to the fall.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of wearing boots. I'm sick of wearing coats.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to wear a hoodie, a crew neck, sweatpants, maybe shorts if I want to.
Yeah.
The option to be able to wear T-shirts or sweatshirts. The option of being able to wear shorts or pants. The clothing in the spring is so versatile. That's one of my favorite things about it.
All right, quick recap. I have, for the best things about spring draft, I've got Easter, I've got March Madness, and I've got open windows. Isaiah, you have?
I have longer days, planning summer fun, and comfortable clothing.
8772 Radio U. Who has the better team, and which picks did we miss? And the best things about Spring Choice Champions Draft.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Is Easter, March Madness, and open windows. Isaiah, your team is?
Longer days, planning summer fun, and the comfortable clothing.
Looking at the votes rolling in. Susanna, rolling with you, Isaiah. But she also says, we both forgot clearance jelly beans after Easter. # black jelly beans forever. Susanna loves trolling us when it comes to Choice Champions. How do she
jelly
always
beans.
know? Black jelly beans of all of them? I don't like jelly beans in general, but the licorice ones, come on.
You're crazy.
Yeah. D says Hudson, and her choices are bluebonnets, baseball, and Easter.
Baseball being left out does feel kind of wrong.
Yeah, I agree, but I couldn't double
down. But does opening day have the luster that it once does?
Yeah.
It once did.
I don't know, but I am excited for actual games that matter.
Me
to
too.
Come up here. We also have Regina, who said hard to vote against longer days, but she's got to go with Hudson because she loves open windows.
I didn't think open windows would be what did me in on this draft.
She also said, she loves open windows. She goes on to say, also the hope of Easter Resurrection Sunday also tips it in Hudson's favor. So open windows first, then also Easter, the return of Jesus from the dead.
What else did you have?
So I had some that I felt are things that occur in the spring, but don't feel like they capture the essence of spring, and so I didn't choose them. And that is 3 holidays: St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, and most of all, Memorial Day. Memorial Day,
summer.
Definitely, it feels like summer, even though it totally occurs in the spring.
Yes, it's the start of summer.
And then I also could have said Valentine's Day because to me that is the start of spring. But I'd be a Susanna there. I'd be trolling. I also D said bluebonnets. I was just thinking flowers in general. I like nature. I like how everything now goes from being brown and dead to being pretty.
Brian says, while Hudson usually incorrectly selects himself as winner, today he's correct with Easter and March Madness.
Yes, Brian. Thank you.
Some other ones I considered.
Yeah, what else was on your list?
Well, you know how I picked planning summer fun?
Yeah.
If I didn't pick planning summer fun, if you took that at 1, which I was worried you might, I would have chosen the end of winter. Because I hate winter.
Yeah,
I just hate it.
I do too.
I hate winter.
Yeah,
one of my
definitely.
favorite things about spring is the end of winter.
Yep.
I considered that. I also just had a vague being outdoors. And then I thought about what else do I like in the spring?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, in the springtime, I feel like I hang out at my parents' house a lot on Sundays.
Okay.
Which results in us grilling out.
Yeah, I was thinking about grilling, but that feels more like a summer thing.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. All the good stuff about spring is just the stuff that you love doing in the summer that you can kind of do in the spring sometimes.
Spring is like a bad version of the fall.
Yeah.
If you're asking me,
yeah,
that's my
so
take on
too.
the spring. It's like the Kroger brand.
I think spring I actually like spring more than fall.
No, you do not.
I think I do, but it just has
That's a
less
lie.
fun things that are its own. It's just spring is just pre-summer, and summer is the best.
Yeah, summer is the best.
Did you consider April Fool's Day?
I didn't even think of it. I didn't even consider April Fool's Day. No.
Well, the results are in, and it's clear today. Undisputed, I am the champion of choice champions.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
I think this is exciting. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have a real-life dietitian joining us. Isaiah and I give a lot of dieting, health advice, but hey, we're just guys. This is somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. They went to school for it. So make sure you join us tomorrow to catch that. And if you miss it, it'll be up on the RadioU Riot YouTube and Facebook page. Isaiah, I'm going to give you a handful here of stuff, dining habits people might do while you're out to dinner with them. Tell me which one you think is the worst. Double dipping.
Doesn't... You mean go one by one or a whole? Yeah, do all of them.
Yeah, no. Can I list them, please?
Please list.
Double dipping, eating with your mouth open, licking your fingers, being rude to the server.
Eating with your mouth open.
That's the worst one?
100%.
Worse than being rude?
Yes.
Why?
I hate it. It grosses me out. Who am I with? I guess is another good question.
Yeah.
Am I with my lady E? Because if so...
If she's doing one of these?
If she's doing one of these, I want her to not eat with her mouth open. Because that grosses me out.
You say something?
Do I say something?
Would you say something?
Of course I would. I would say, stop eating with your mouth open. But what's crazy is she says that to me all the time. I'm actually the one who's constantly doing that, I guess.
Why would you eat with your mouth open?
I don't know. I'm not trying to. That's what I say. I'm not trying to.
What about talking while with your mouth full?
Are you doing it in a way that you're trying to hide it? Do you know how you do it?
Yeah. That's how I always do it because I feel bad talking with my mouth open.
Sometimes I will cover my mouth.
Yeah, like that makes a difference.
I know, like so they can't see what's going on.
Yeah, to me, the problem with talking with your mouth full is how it sounds, not me seeing you eat the food. Similar with eating with your mouth open. I don't like the sound much more than I care about seeing the food you're eating.
I also don't like if I can hear you eating.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. That makes me nauseous, even just to think about.
What do you call that? Like, there's a word for it. Misophonia.
It's called like obnoxious.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'll tell you that according to a new survey, 60% of people found being rude to waiters as the worst of the list.
That's I don't like the rudeness.
Yeah, because some of the other ones, if you're eating with your mouth open, that could be a subconscious thing. Being rude to the wait staff is actually that's a personality trait. Whether you realize you're being rude or not, that's just who you are as a person.
See, it's funny because if somebody else at my table is being rude to the wait staff, then I feel like it is my duty to be overly nice.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're like, can we please get some water? I'm like, we can get waters whenever.
Yeah.
It's not even I'm not even really that. I mean, you've been doing a great job of refilling my water.
They mess something up and you say sorry?
Yeah.
They spill the water on you. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was my fault. Yeah.
And my order was complex. Like, I don't usually want ketchup on the side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally get that. But yeah, I being rude to waiters is different than all the other ones because it is it's such more of a personality trait than just a little quirk you have.
But also, the person that's being rude to the waiters, almost 99% of the time, are you surprised that person would be rude to waiters?
No, never.
Never.
Yeah.
When you're going there with them, they're like, they're probably going to be rude.
Sometimes you can tell before you've ever
100%.
gone out to eat with the person. But double dipping is inconsiderate. Licking fingers, I'll be honest, I do it. I can't cast stones on that one because I'm a finger licker.
I don't even think twice about it. Also, double dipping, depending on who you're with. If I'm with at a RadioU staff lunch, I'm not double dipping.
Yeah, we went to a Mexican restaurant recently. I was very conscious about double dipping.
Me too.
Yeah, very conscious about
that. But if I'm with my family, some of my friends, I don't care.
Yeah, and then but eating with your mouth open, I just hate the sounds.
Shame.
We used to just call each other out. We had a nickname. Anybody, if there's a code word, we'd say, "Hey, Cow McGee." knock it off.
Cow McGee.
Yeah, because cows eat with their mouth open. So that was a little subtle jab at you if you're eating your mouth open.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
It's time for Love 'em or Leave 'em on The Riot. You guys text in at 8772 Radio. You decide if this couple should stay in love or if it's time to end things. The windy turnpike of love that we help you navigate. Today, a couple that's posed to get married is having some difficult conversations. One of them being this guy's fiance says she doesn't want their kids in the future to take his last name.
Which last name is she going to give him?
Her own last name. Because she's decided that she's not going to take his last name when they get married.
Okay.
Which he's okay with.
Fair.
He's okay with that because I think she's some sort of doctor or something.
Oh, yeah.
They said it's like a job thing.
Yeah. But changing your name, it's it takes some work.
But she doesn't want... This is crazy. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
She doesn't want the kids to take his last name in the future. And he says, just so y'all know, my last name is an Asian last name.
Okay.
And her reasoning, which is wild, her reasoning on why the kids shouldn't have his last name is because it could be harder for them to get jobs or get into college with his certain last name.
Well, what's the last name?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Come on. I think that I feel like it matters.
But
I don't know if it does. I don't know if it does.
And he says, my last name is a very normal and his heritage last name.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like, because there's some last names that people have where you're like, all right, I wouldn't want that last name.
Sure.
Because like, it sounds like you're saying something bad.
Yeah.
This is
like
not
what? Name one.
I'm not saying one of them.
You're not saying, I'll say one, Hitler.
There you go.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that last name.
No, you wouldn't.
But in this case, a normal in his heritage last name.
Mm-hmm.
She wants nothing to do with it. She's already not taking it, and she doesn't want the kids to have it. He's against it. She won't even do the dash. He brought up the dash.
Yeah. I feel like the dash feels like the way to go.
She's against the dash.
Solutions oriented. Love her or leave her. Can you leave her because she doesn't, if you have kids, want to give them your last name?
He's very upset. Understandably so. This is important to him.
All right. We need some we need to crowdsource this one. That's what Love 'em or Leave 'em is all about. 8772 Radio U. Love 'em or Leave 'em. We'll see what people are saying coming up next.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
For today's dilemma, Isaiah, what is the abbreviated version of this Love 'em or Leave 'em?
A husband is getting ready to get married to his wife. She has already talked it over that she doesn't want to take his last name. He's totally fine with that. Unfortunately, she also doesn't want the kiddos to have his last name. Her reasoning, and he states in it, I have an Asian last name because of our heritage. Her reasoning is that our kids will be disadvantaged when it comes to college applications as it's harder for Asian kids to get into some schools. Quote, he says, giving my kid my last name is important to me, and I wouldn't even mind adding both names together to make a new last name.
Mm-hmm.
But she is still hesitant on that.
Wait. So she, now you say adding both names, obviously hyphen is one way. What if they make a whole new last name? Before we get to anybody else's suggestions. Nobody else has suggested that. What if you just mix the two last names together?
That's the wildest thing I've ever heard.
But it could work, right? Who makes the rules?
You can name your kid whatever you want.
Yeah, you can, right?
But what kid would want to have a last name different from both their parents? That seems kind of crazy.
It's not up to them. If you want them to have
well, you can name your kid whatever you want, but if it's such a big deal, just give him one of the names.
Another solution before we get to anybody else's solutions?
Make his last name Joey. I don't know. Just make it random.
Yeah, just make it something completely different. Or how about this? We pull a peekaboo street. You don't give the kids a last name, and when they're old enough, you pick an age, they get to decide which last name they want. Or if they want something different.
They can always decide later on. Just give them a darn last name.
So here's what people are saying. Brian, leave them. She is already planning to leave. Just make it easy for everyone involved. This 2024 Smiths and Johnsons are already played out. That's Brian chiming in. Also, Todd, if she doesn't want his last name, fine. However, no way the kids don't have his last name. I guess it's over.
Boom.
We got to double leave him. Then we also have D, who says it's a serious red flag. If you can't get it worked out, then you don't need to proceed. It is something that's true. You guys need to come up with an agreement. It's good that you're getting this out before you get married. She said, as for her reasoning, the Asian last name could be harder for kids to get into school and whatnot. She says, statistics show there's a higher percentage of Asians in AP scholarship, higher level academic stuff. So I don't think it's really a big deal. I think D gets at something good. I think this isn't a love him or leave him. You just need a really well-reasoned argument because you should be able to win this as the husband, as the guy with the Asian last name. You should just get some good statistics for her that show that she's all wrong about this. Tell her why she's wrong, and you should win, I think. Debate it.
Regina says, unfortunately, there's still people that discriminate based on name. Whether or not it's intentional, he has to make his own decision, but I say love her and stay with her as it's just a name. The kids may choose to change their last name to his one day anyway. That's a good point, too.
Yep. Carrie says she doesn't compromise at all. Sounds toxic.
That sounded a little toxic, I won't lie.
Well, you think about going back to Regina's thing about people to discriminate on last names. Shouldn't the guy that already has a last name be the primary judge of that?
He could be.
Yeah, like if he doesn't think it's really held him back, then why would he worry about it for his kids? You know?
Fair.
It's actually, when you think about it, that's actually kind of crazy of the future wife to be like, your last name, it's held you back. And so I don't want it to hold our kids back. I feel like if he's comfortable with it, then that should be enough for everybody.
Philip says, you mentioned making a valid argument and explain to her why she's wrong could possibly change her mind. But he also says, as someone who's been married for like 13 years, I can say that it's very unlikely.
So is this an argument, Philip, that's worth pre-ending the pre-marriage over?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I think there's sides to both of it. But I would say, I mean, if she's not even willing to take the dash, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this one's clear. The guy is in the right to me. I always, like, you're already engaged. So you guys must like each other. So I don't know.
But the good thing is, yet again, the kids can change it to whatever they want in like a handful of years.
Yeah.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.